Okay, continuing with some key terms of Hinduism. You should be able to define these. The next one is samsara. So this is that cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, that ongoing cycle, samsara. The goal of your many lives is to achieve moksha, which is liberation from this cycle, liberation from the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Dharma, this is a word that could mean conduct, path, way, or truth. It is the way that you should conduct your life, the path you should follow. And this is not only according to the teachings of Hinduism, but your particular stage in life and your particular varna in life. We'll say more about those later. Sanatana Dharma, the eternal way or the eternal truth. This is how most Hindus refer to Hinduism. Hinduism is an exonym. That means it's a name made up by outsiders. It's not a name that Hindus usually call themselves. Most practitioners of Hinduism would say that they follow the Sanatana Dharma. Sacred text of Hinduism, again, these you should be able to define. They come in two categories. Shruti, which means that which is heard or that which is revealed. And then Smrti, which means that which is remembered. The Shruti are the earliest, most ancient, most authoritative sacred texts. The Smrti are the ones that came later. You could almost refer to the Smrti as the tradition. You could refer to the Shruti as the basic foundational canonical scriptural texts. The Shruti, that which is heard, includes the Vedas, which are, I think, the oldest scriptures in the world, and the Upanishads, which are basically teachings about the Vedas. The Smrti includes the Mahabharata, which is it is the longest epic poem in the world. There's a very special portion of the Mahabharata, which is called the Bhagavad Gita. And the Bhagavad Gita is the most widely read and most beloved scripture of Hinduism. The Bhagavad Gita is a story of Arjuna, the prince, going out on the battlefield. His chariot driver turns out to be Krishna, the god Krishna, and Krishna teaches him about the way of devotion and his role in life and other important teachings which are valued by Hindus. The Ramayana is another epic which belongs to the Smrti category of sacred text. You should be able to recognize, you don't have to memorize this information, but you should recognize Brahma. If you were to see him in a multiple choice question, you'd want to remember that he is considered the creator god, and he's usually shown with 4 heads. So that's one way to tell who he is if you were to see a picture of him. Remember that in Hinduism, the various gods and goddesses are understood to be different manifestations of Brahman, the ultimate reality. Vishnu, who is understood to be the preserver, and is the main god of the Hindu sect of Vaishnavism. And then there's Shiva, and Shiva is the destroyer and the main god of Shaivism. Now those 3 make up what is known as the Trimurti, the 3 forms: Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. You might remember that Brahma is known as the creator, so you could call him the generator. Vishnu is known as the sustainer, so you could call him the organizer. And then Shiva is known as the destroyer. And some have pointed out that those 3 spell God. These three guys have wives. The wife of Brahma is known as Saraswati. She is the goddess of knowledge, music, and the arts. Um, the wife of Vishnu is known as Lakshmi. She is the goddess of wealth and prosperity. The wife of the wife of Shiva is known as Parvati. She is the goddess of fertility, love, beauty, harmony, and marriage, and children. Therefore, she is known as the Divine Mother. She is, as I said, the wife of Shiva, and she is also known as Mahadevi, the great goddess, also known as Durga, also known as Shakti, and therefore the main god of Shaktism. And those three are known as the Tri-Devi, the three female. Devi is a female god, a goddess. So those three, Saraswati, Lakshmi, and, well, these names are escaping me, Mahadevi, are the three known as the Tri-Devi. Okay, Ganesha, very important god, very popular god in Hinduism. He's the god of new beginnings, the remover of obstacles. He has the head of an elephant. That's how you can very easily recognize him. Rama is the seventh avatar of Vishnu. It is understood that Vishnu has had so far 9 different incarnations or avatars, and avatar is an incarnation. The seventh avatar of Vishnu is known as Rama, carries a bow and arrow. And Krishna, the 8th avatar of Vishnu, known as a playful god, often shown playing the flute. Hanuman is the Hindu god with the monkey head, who is the servant of Rama, an example of selfless devotion. And one more thing, Hindus do not worship cows, but they do revere them as sacred because of their selfless life-giving. Okay, so that's what you need to remember about Hinduism. And I'm going to pause it here and come back, and we will talk about what you need to remember about Buddhism.